Um,
All my life I've been a dog person. Every trip to the pet store, my parents have always tried to get me to get another dog, or another collie, another pit bull, another something or other. But I've always wanted hamsters, or gerbils, or one of my all-time dreams was ferrets. So of course, when I moved out on my own, the first thing I went and bought was a ferret. Surprisingly enough, I found out that I didn't know anything about these creatures and how to care for them, and that you couldn't just put them outside and stuff like that. So, of course, I had to do research. And in my research, I found that ferrets are one of the most fascinating animals you can ever find. Today I want to talk about ferrets, and I want to talk about their biology, their behavior, and how to care for them. First, I'd like to start out with biology. Ferrets are related to polecats, which are technically weasels, and many people believe that ferrets are related to rodents, but in fact, they're closer to a cat than a rodent. Next, I'd like to talk about behavior. A ferret's number one behavior is hoarding. If it finds something it likes, it wants to keep it. This comes from a survival instinct where they would hoard things for the winter so they could eat and nest themselves and do stuff like that. My ferrets, however, are much more domesticated. Their favorite things to hoard are shoes and DVDs, believe it or not, because they're shiny. According to Ferret for Dummies, almost anything a ferret can grab with their paws, or drag with their mouth is fair game. A ferret's next favorite activity is sleeping. A healthy ferret will sleep for 18 to 20 hours a day, while an unhealthy ferret will sleep from anywhere from 21 to 23. That means that your pet, the majority of the time, is actually sleeping, which is really easy to care for a ferret when it's sleeping, because it doesn't need care at all. Just a warm hammock and a warm cage. Finally, my favorite ferret behavior is what's called duking. It may sound odd, but it's spelled D-O-O-K, and it's actually when a ferret is really excited, they'll duke, which sounds like a low chuckling. And it basically means that they found something extremely exciting, or they found something interesting. Like my ferret Smokey, she'll duke when she sees her favorite pigeon stuffed animal. It's just stuff that they do. Finally, I want to talk about ferret care. According to the SPCA, the best thing you can feed your ferret is a diet intended specifically for their species. However, many people think that they could feed their ferrets cat food because it's, of course, related to cats. Unfortunately, that's not true. Many cat diets aren't very high in protein, which is what a ferret needs. So the best thing to feed them is ferret kibble. They make a lot of it. You can actually buy it at Walmart, or PetSmart, or PetStop, or anywhere you can find. The next thing I want to talk about is baths. Now, bath time isn't a ferret's favorite time. I usually do them once a month, which is what's recommended, because ferrets, if you bathe them more than once a month, they actually have a musky odor, which will come out because their oil glands will go into overproduction. Due to when you overbathe them, of course, they get dried out. Next, I'd like to talk about housing a ferret. An ideal ferret cage has a lot of space and a lot of levels, because when you're not home to play with your ferret and let it run outside, of course it needs to run in its cage. It also needs, a food bowl and a water bottle, and ferret hammocks are very common, so ferrets love hammocks. Finally, I'd like to talk about ferret proofing. The number one thing you can do for your ferret is ferret proof your home. Ferrets, they love cords. So of course, Marshall's Ferret Farms, they actually sell cord wraps, which is basically a clear rubber tube that goes over cords that prevents a ferret from being able to chew through it and get electrocuted. The second thing that ferrets like a lot is soap. Laundry soap, dish soap, any kind of soap, they will love to get into because they like the taste. However, it does make them very sick. So the second thing you can do is actually put all your soaps and everything on high shelves. Third thing you can do to ferret-proof your home is actually, ferrets love to get into mattresses, or under rocking chairs, or anything close to the floor. This is also something, you make sure that you don't have any holes in your couches, or you're not rocking in a rocking chair where your ferret's on the ground or anything like that. Finally, I'd like to end up with how easy ferrets are to care for overall. A ferret actually requires very little time per week. All you need to do is play with it 5 hours a week and it's happy. All the other times, you let it sleep and it's perfectly content. This is why I believe ferrets are the perfect pet. I work a lot, but when I come home, my ferret is always happy to see me. So I think everybody should go out and buy a ferret. Thank you.
Still here.